All right, here we're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq had another strong day today. It was up 24 points or 0.16% and closed at 15,099. The volume today was 48% above average daily volume. And I always ask, are the institutions supporting this market? And you can unequivocally say, yes, they are. Look at these big blue volume bars. That's not short covering. These are institutions, institutional support, institutional money coming in and supporting this market. Oftentimes, I still see people who are bearish, that the recession's coming and they don't want to get into this market. There's euphoria. It's been too much too soon, or whatever the excuse is. But our job is just to identify what is the market telling us, what is the market actually doing. And this is not bearish, folks. It came down after it had the follow through day. It ripped through its moving averages and it pulled back to its 10 one time. Maybe here you could say that's a pullback to the 10 last week on that little air pocket. But now the last four sessions just continuing higher. Um, this is very bullish. This is about as bullish as I've been in a long time. We've been on green since about November 11th or whatever, and it's very important to identify market direction and stock selection because that's how you're going to be successful in the stock market. And I see a lot of people who just cannot figure out the direction. And then once they do find out the direction, they trade junky stocks. So you want quality stocks in an uptrending market. So we have the uptrending market, the Nasdaq very strong. I say 48% above average daily volume. This is holiday trading, folks. I expected a quiet week, but this is not quiet at all. I do want to go to the Russell 2000 because this is the leading index. It was up 0.34% today. I'm going to go to the weekly here on the Russell because it just shows it's been like a couple of years since it's been at these levels. So, it's got a lot of ground to make up, but it made a low, retested the low. And you could say that's a retest there. And then shook everybody out, made a new low, and then ripped higher. And you'll see that oftentimes with stocks where before the big move, they have the big move lower and the big move up. It's a V-shaped action. So then, we call it a handle or whatever on the shakeout, shakes everybody out, then rips higher. But anyway, this is very strong, very bullish as it's been taking out these highs, 2003, 2007, 2030. It just keeps taking out these highs higher and higher. Today closed at 2066. And I believe it's got that 2138 in its sights. This has a lot of catching up to do. That's all I'm going to say. I'm very bullish on this index, especially. I'm going to show the IWM. This is the exchange traded fund that a lot of people use for the index. And there you can see that, base on base pattern, but essentially it's been, a couple of years worth of just going sideways. And so now it's playing catch up. And it's got a long way to go. So I know what I wanted to show you. The TNA. I also use the TNA. You can see it's just breaking out of a base here. Breaking out of this, it was stage one base. So, the bigger the base, the higher in space. And this is a 3 times leverage. So if it pulls back, it's going to pull back 3 times. But if it's trading higher, like I believe it's going to trade higher, then you're going to get 3 times your value. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that there's a correlation right now. There's a correlation. I'm not saying this is going to last forever. Right now, there's a correlation between the 10-year Treasury, which ramped higher, the fastest rate hikes in history, and that's why the index has been down, for so long. And now this is just in a free fall. This is like Tom Petty free falling here. And today it's down to what 3.78. Yesterday it was like 3.88. It's just going down every day. So there's a correlation between your small cap, more risk on, more growthier names for investors to take risk than it would be if it was up 5% here at 3.78 and on its way down. So this is very bullish for our Russell 2000, I believe. Anyway, I don't trade indexes, I trade stocks. I'm just going to go through just do the formality, the perfunctory exercise of going through these Mag sevens, I'm not interested in these for 2024 because I'm trying to hit grand slams. And I believe if you have the smaller cap, smaller names, you'll do better. Although I don't think these are going anywhere. Now I keep mentioning that these are set up in bases, and some people mentioned to me, yeah, they can set up and fail too, and that's absolutely right. They can set up and fail for certainly. Apple comes in with weak earnings, it could slice its 50 and take another trip down to the 200 like it did in October. But we'll see if Apple and Microsoft and Meta and Google go down, then the indexes will go down as well. So just keep that in mind. But these are set up. Microsoft, same thing. Big base here. I mean, you're looking at 6 months here, and now I know a lot of people saying, "Well, if Microsoft is going to go somewhere, wouldn't it go somewhere?" I mean, the Nasdaq's up, and this thing is just going sideways. And that's a very good point. Why isn't Microsoft leading higher? Because the rally's spreading out, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. I've been mentioning this, how we're having a broadening effect in the rally, and people, kind of question me on that, and I'm going to get to that in a minute anyway. Once I get through this, exercise of the Mag 7, this is a Meta, one of the better performing Magnificent Seven stocks, making, I believe, a new high today there. As it, this is the holiday volume that you would expect in these stocks here. 359, I believe that's a new high for Meta Platforms. Google, another one that's just kind of setting up here at that 139.42. That one, looks pretty good to me. Tesla, oh yeah, this had this little bull wedge pattern and broke out from the moving average. That looks pretty good. I wouldn't call it a breakout, but it's trending higher and bouncing off a moving average. Amazon, it was flat yesterday, flat today, just trading flat on us. Nvidia, like I said, I'm not really interested in these. They're too big for me. And this was just flat again today. So, but it still looks good. It's set up and it's been consolidating here since, the 500 level in August, so we're about ready to hit 2024. So it's been a while here since those have made a move. And anyway, I wanted to get to some strength here today. Some stocks making new highs, some stocks showing strength and spreading out from a wide variety of sectors, not indexes, of sectors. I'm going to start with I know people don't like these biotech stocks, and yeah, I'm going to show this one up 82% on massive volume. That's a move not to be ignored. But it was a significant heart drug approval for Cytokinetics. And, once they get an approval like this, they got a ton of upgrades. And now, there's speculation that, of a buyout from one of these big pharmas. They've been on the hunt and been spending a lot of money on companies lately. So we are seeing buyouts. I expect to see more buyouts. There's a JP Morgan conference in the first week of 2024, and usually there's a lot of activity there. So I'm not afraid of the biotech sector. I know that you can really get caught in the outhouse there and see 50, 60, 70% shakedowns in overnight. But you can also see something like this. So you kind of have to know what you own. It's definitely an area where you have to dig deep to find out why these stocks are making these big moves. This is INSM, and I'm not going to go through a bunch of biotech stocks. Just wanted to point out here, cup with handle pattern, big base here, breakout. I talked about the move. They shake down right before they make the big move up, and this is very common. And this is um, just another biotech stock doing well. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go to the XBI. This has been beaten up yeah, you can see the pattern there, but it's been beaten up since 21, almost 3 years. Had a little capitulation selling here. I believe I have this on here. Yeah, climax top, definitely a climax top. And then capitulation selling about, 18 months later. So I thought I was going to rip and roll. And I had some LabU last summer of 22, I should say, but it didn't go anywhere. And you can't hold on to an ETF not going anywhere. And this one showed this double bottom pattern, and now it's starting to move out of it. And this looks to me like a lot like the IWM, which I just showed you. So I think this is an area where 2024 could be fruitful to be in the biotech stocks. And if you don't want to trade an individual stock, you can always trade the the XBI, or I mentioned LabU, which had a reverse split. Now it's like $129. Yeah, same type of pattern though here. Anyway, I'm going to get off that and go to another area of strength, which is these Bitcoin stocks. I'm going to go with that Coinbase here. Obviously, when you missed the move here. This is a nice cup, no handle, just rip higher. I mean, maybe you'd call this 2-day pullback barely to the 10 EMA. And this one just continues to find support at the 10 EMA. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. In a strong market like we have now, your stocks, the only way to get in is, when they pull back to a moving average like that, then they bounce higher. It's just one day and bounce. Pulls back, bounce. And then that's your only chance to get in these things. They're so darn strong. MicroStrategy, and I've been citing this one every weekend. It's one of the top stocks in 2023. I believe it is the top stock. That one in Carvana, it's gone up, I don't know how many percent. I could get that for you. How much is it? Yeah, 350%. So one of the top stocks in a top group. And like I told you just a minute ago, once they break out, your only chance here is at these 10s, 10, 10. Today it ramped on announcement that they had bought a bunch more Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is strong. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. But I want to move on and just kind of show you the broad-based rally that we're in. This is a chemical company, Basic Chemicals. I guess, you can consider this in with, RPM or PPG, this is Celanese, but a basic chemical stock. And there you go again. Once it broke out, it gave you one day to get in, and this thing's just ramping higher. I mentioned chemical. This is a paint stock, Sherwin-Williams, broke out, has not even pulled back to the 10. That's probably an 8, pull back to the 8 EMA there, but, extremely strong stocks. ASPN, I'd be lying to you if I knew what these guys do. Chemical specialty, but I don't know exactly what area they're in. Everybody knows Sherwin-Williams, a paint company, but once the breakout happened, if you want to buy, when can you get it? I mean, off the 10, that's it. And then boom, just ramp higher. So Bloomin' Onions, BLMN, retail restaurant. This stock looks good here. Still in a cup, could appear on our ready list. You can see how it rallied through the 50, and since it did that, it's just pulled back to its 10. One time is moving higher, so maybe it'll pull back and allow the 10 to catch up and give us a chance to get in, but extremely strong stock. This is Alpha Medical, metallurgical. This is an energy coal stock. And the coal stocks have been hot as well, excuse the pun. But once it broke out, it pulled back to the 10. Now, this one stayed for a couple of days. So it gave you a chance. If you're a little sleepy, you could still get it. But now it's just off and running. So energy coal, BCC, Boise Cascade, building wood product stock, broke out and then pulled back to the 10, broke out here, pull back to the 10, and see you later. Adios, muchachos. I mean, a Jefferies, a financial company, broke out, pull back to the 10 one time, and off to the races. See you later. I mean, and there's a lot of these stocks within these groups. I'm just pointing them out from each group. This is the HVAC group that I've highlighted many times. This is Lennox. Broke out, then pulled back to the 21 twice, and now it's trending along its 10. So even pulled back once to the 10 there, but just extremely strong stocks, extremely strong market. I couldn't be more bullish, because we waited a long time for this too. I'm going to say we deserve this because we went through a lot of torture. This is Shoe Carnival. I mean, who would have thought Shoe Carnival? You ever been to one of their stores? It's pretty basic. But ramped through on a breakout, pulled back to the 10 one time. Now it just keeps running higher. Darn Shoe Carnival. People are getting married, buying jewelry. This is Signet Jewelers. Signet pulled back to the 10 one time, ran up, pulled back to the 10 again, and it's adios muchachos. I mean, I could do this all day, but I'm not going to. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm just showing you the different areas. I showed you Tesla earlier. It's kind of struggling a little bit, but not Stellantis. This is Chrysler, Jeep. a Fiat, Dodge, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, pull back to the 10 a couple of times, but making new highs and just showing tremendous strength here. Tidewater, which is a field services, breaking out here. Maybe it'll pull back, but tremendous strength with Tidewater. Oh yeah, we want to go to the restaurant too. You don't have to go to Bloomin' Onions. You can go to the Texas Roadhouse. This one broke out, just pull back to the 10. Maybe it'll do it again, but man, it's awfully strong after the breakouts. Weatherford, very similar to Tidewater. This is a equipment though, and not a field services, but having a little trouble with 100, but maybe it'll allow this 10 to, rise up and it'll pull back and then move higher. Another stock that I like. And Zscaler, I could show you a ton of cybersecurity stocks that are just, it broke out and pulled back to the 21, and then it pulled back to the 10, CYBR is another cybersecurity stock. Yeah. Breakout, pull back to the 10 a couple of times. That's about it, man. Then it's just ripping higher. So, I mean, there's a lot of sectors that are doing well. So, market direction, stock selection, you had plenty to choose from. This is not setting up in bases now, though. They're off to the races, so you got to buy them on pullback. So that was my point. Anyway, I want to show you today just stocks that are, bouncing off their 10 EMA. I just showed you a ton of stocks that are showing strength. And this is a biotech stock. Yeah, I know it was like a $5 stock and it ripped higher. I should go to the weekly on this, and you could just see the power, from these lows. And this is Altimmune. I don't know, you can't buy it here. You got to wait till it pulls back to the 10, like I've been saying, right? Wait for them to pull back. A firm has a very consistent pattern here since the breakout. One pullback to the 10, to pull back 2 days, pull back to the 10, and that's it. So if you keep your eye on it and it pulls back to the 10, that's a very consistent pattern. CVNA, I've had this on our ready list. I pull back to the 10, and that's kind of a weak bounce, 1.5%. I would expect more from that. And to me, it hasn't even broken out yet. Yeah, out of that base here. So we'll see. I'm keeping my eye on Carvana. CVRX, this is a medical systems equipment stock, and there you can see the breakout, the pullback to the 10, pullback to the 10. This one squatted at the 10 for a while and then moved higher yesterday. GitLab is another one of those earnings plays that I'm monitoring. Broke out, pulled back to the 10, moved higher, pulled back to the 10, moved higher. Very consistent pattern here. ZYME, this is another biotech stock. You can see here from the lows, the ripped higher, pull back to the 10, squatted at the 10 for a little bit, and then ripped higher. But if you look at the weekly on this, and I know a lot of people don't want to buy these stocks, but that is a nice stage one base there. I'm not going to do something this late in the week, but maybe next week we could put that on our ready list let it pull back a little bit. It's getting a little heated. We'll keep our eye on it though. That's ZYME. A medical biotech stock, pretty thinly traded, but you can't argue with the performance. Performance is everything. Like I say, what are these stocks doing? This is GigaCloud, broke out here. There you go, broke out here, pull back to its 10, ramped higher, pull back to its 10, ramped higher. Very clear pattern. You just got to be patient and watch them. Write these tickers down, whichever one you see that you like. This is what is this? This is a China stock. Yeah, it's very thinly traded. 26 price, a million, so about $26 million volume here, and you can see very clearly that it broke out, pulled back here, broke out here, pulled back, broke out here, pulled back, broke out. So very consistent pattern. That's HOLI. BLBD. This is a gas powered school buses, right? Propane and gas. Yeah, school buses in North America. You've seen the Bluebird school buses. My goodness, this thing is rocking and rolling. Let's take a look at the weekly here. That's a nice ascent here, double bottom pattern, ripped up higher. And that's a nice 32 week, it's 7 7, 8 months there, and now it's broken out. And I would call the breakout here and then the pullback to the 10 now rips higher. So you got to wait for another pullback. But I mean, come on, people. School buses, this is a strong market. And this looks very similar to the last chart. Bluebird, where you have the breakout and the pullback to the 10, the pullback here to the 21, and now just ripping higher. A lot of strength there in Amphastar. That's another biotech stock. Ooh, the scary biotech sector. This is Unity Software. Let's go to the weekly here on Unity. Yeah, this is stage one. It's been consolidating for a long time. That's a nice shakeout. And now moving higher. You can see it's 14% off its 52-week high. I like them to be within 15%. But this one broke out here, pulled back to the 10, right? There's a breakout, pullback. Moved kind of sideways, breakout, and then pull back here, breakout again. So you got to wait. As long as this green line's climbing higher and it pulls back and finds support, you're going to be in the chips, right? You're going to be making money. The problem is when they fail, then you got to get rid of them when they fail the moving averages. This is another biotech stock, PCVX. Sorry for all the biotech stocks, but I mean, I'm just trying to make a point here. When breakouts happen and they pull back to the 10, that's your chance to pull back to the 10. Very consistent with a lot of these stocks. PNR. Now, I know this is not a biotech stock. And I know it's not an oil and gas. This is machinery stock. I got to go to the weekly again, just to show you that it had this big uptrend and then the consolidation here, 18 weeks, and now it's moving higher. So I like, a move higher and then a consolidation, and it gives you a chance to get in. You could say this is a breakout here as it came through its 50, pull back to the 10 one time. Now it's just ripping higher. This is very consistent. ELF, this is the last one I'm going to show you, then I'm going to go. ELF, I want to show you the, obviously this stock has been strong. I've had it on our ready list forever and a day, and it pulled back to the 10 one time, and now it's doing this. It's just pinching in here, forming this little wedge. After this consolidation, at first I want to show you the weekly because it hasn't done this in a long time. Since the summer of 22, had this big run, and now it's formed this base again. Will it do the same thing? I don't know, but I like its chances. I want to go to the 10-minute chart on ELF because it's a very clear pattern here of this is even on the day where the we had that you can see how they close. Just note the close here, the last hour and a half. It's up ticking. So the sells off, and then towards the close, people are coming in and buying this thing. And to me, that's stealth accumulation. This one dropped at the beginning, finished higher. Today, dropped and then closed higher. To me, that's accumulation. Somebody's getting in this thing. And I just like the daily chart as well and the weekly. I like every aspect of ELF. I know there's TikTok stars and the younger folks like them, and they're getting into skincare, not just eyes, lips, and face. Yeah, I think they could have a big 2024. Anyway, and I like the smaller cap stocks, got a 7.9 billion market cap. Anyway, that's it for me today, except in honor of the great Steve Jobs. I have one more thing. I had mentioned these, the Bitcoin stocks and their speculation. There's going to be exchange traded fund, and nobody knows how that's going to. I'm going to stop right there. Just look at the big blue bar. So who's buying this stock? Not Aunt Sally. Okay, so this is institutional support. I'm going to call this a pull on a high tight flag. I count the pull from where the breakout occurs. So it's only been a few weeks. And I think it's about $13 here. Yeah, $13.92 there. There's your breakout. And so that would be your pull. From 13 to what, 31. And now if it did something like this and flagged for a few sessions or a week or more around that $30 level, then you could have your high tight flag pattern. But right now we definitely have a pull here, and we want something like that so we could salute the flag. Also, AAOI in spirit, I want to call this a yeah, I want to call this a high tide flag as well. This one's a little further along, as the breakout there was from, I call it about 11 right in here, $11. Yeah, that week right there. If I go to the daily, yeah, 1168 right there. And so now 1168, So there's your breakout, boom. And this has formed this, this has got a more pronounced flag pattern here. And I like them on the weekly chart. You always got to refer to the weekly. So I'd say there's your pole. And then now here's your flag. These are rare, rare, rare patterns. You don't see these very often. I know people on Twitter post high type flag, but those are not high type flags. You get one or two or three in a bull market. You don't get a ton of them. And this is a definite possibility. I believe there's a lot of short interest in this stock. But anyway, another 800 million market cap. These are the small cap stocks. If you're looking to hit some grand slams, maybe AAOI could fit your profile. This one was $100 stock. So you never know. These are the growthier names that are showing flashes and could be big winners. I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. It's definitely has more potential to double, triple, or be a grand slam than an Apple or a Microsoft. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for watching. I hope I explained how the market's broadening out and there's a lot to choose from, a lot of merchandise, a lot of different styles. If you want to buy junk off the bottom, there was some people promoting this stock, Blink. I don't recommend this at all. This is in a clear downtrend with all your moving averages. In a downtrend, they like this little $4.66. But look what happened today, down 11%. That's for the birds. I don't want to be down 11% in a day. It ruined your portfolio. So anyway, I want to stick with the leading stocks that are showing strength, that are in uptrends, that are near highs, stuff like ELF. Vert is another one that I own. AMD, these are my top holdings. AMD, yeah, above their moving averages. CrowdStrike, you guys know all about CrowdStrike. Zscaler, yeah, stocks that are above they're trending higher. Ride the trend, surf it like a wave. And when a wave comes in, then you can get on another wave, and ride it higher if you're not in. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. At mcstockcharts.com, we never give up.